Bienvenido a Chisme Cafe.
Feliz Año Nuevo todos. Happy New Year, everyone. Thanks for joining Chisme Cafe, and we'll go right into Morgan.
Yeah, so we have no announcements this week, so we'll get right into the Chisme. And if you are a Guardians of the Galaxy fan, you are in for another treat with a third movie.
Good.
So, if you don't like them, don't talk to us. Just kidding. But if you haven't watched them, definitely check them out. They're good movies.
I know, and that regarding it's space and travel, that does bring up to my Chisme, and that brings up Tesla delivered a record 1.3 million vehicles in 2022, but is still disappointing Wall Street. So they're up 40% from last year's in their deliveries. So they have delivered more vehicles, but the stock plummeted 65% down in 2022. In the fourth quarter, demand kind of weakened is what they were saying, but I think that's all across the board of vehicles. Interest rates have gone up, so your demand for vehicles is very low. Not a lot of people are out there trying to grab a new vehicle at those high interest rates. But that's, I think, the majority of vehicles have just seen that.
So did they say what his goals were for like Wall Street?
No, I think they're right at this moment. They're trying to save Tesla stock. I know it's kind of down. I know Tesla has bad reviews in the sense of their reliability of their vehicles are very questionable.
And safety, right?
And safety. So there's a lot of reasons the stock has gone down. Also because Elon Musk has bought Twitter, and they're saying that his mind is between Twitter and Tesla. There's a lot of things going on, so it'd be interesting. The Tesla stock did boom during pre-COVID until now because electric vehicles, they're their lead. But their vehicles overall,
I feel like it's a really big niche group that wants them though.
Yes, I agree.
It's not like...
I mean, Brandon has one, and that's the only person I know that he really enjoys his Tesla.
It's kind of just like a certain niche. It's not like a bad niche. It's just like...
It's like Porsche guys own Porsche cars.
Yeah. Right. I mean, everyone has their own car brand that they're going to go for. It's just with everything you said, I don't know if it's gotten that big of a cult following yet, but...
It'd be interesting to see what the stock does. I know Stephen Graham that we follow, he sold the majority of his Tesla stock just because he didn't see... he wasn't seeing it really going up. But it'd be questionable to see what happens in the next year. I know auto manufacturers are going to be struggling to get people to purchase cars just because of high interest rate, high inflation right now.
Well, I mean, and they're all just so expensive.
Exactly.
Who can really afford a $60,000 vehicle? But going into that and traffic laws, Illinois is passing, I think, 180 new ones. And the one that
I hate Illinois. I don't know if anybody's driven through there. I hate that place. I hate driving through it. It's just
the roads suck.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they're all tolls, so then you have to pay for it anyway.
Exactly.
It's like you're paying to drive, so why aren't these not crappy? But okay, so they're passing 180 new laws. The one that they highlighted in this article was about car hijacking. So Chicago and Illinois isn't known to be the safest state in the United States, right? But it says with the rise of car hijackings, they're passing this law instead of fixing the issue that now if you report your car stolen or hijacked within a timely manner, whatever a timely manner is, you can't get fined for any traffic violations or parking fees, those types of things, if it was reported timely. Now, if you don't report it timely, you get charged for all of that.
I mean, that's, it sounds like they're doing a Band-Aid, right? They're Band-Aid over the actual situation of fixing people getting their car stolen.
Right.
I know there is, I don't know if you've heard or if you know, I think I've told you about the Kia Boys, which started, which started out in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. But certain Kia vehicles, you can actually break into them with a screwdriver and like,
But they
okay,
fixed this, right?
they kind of fixed it. So instead of doing an overall recall, so what ended up happening is it's a switch, a dial switch when you turn your key that you need to have a code within the key is what most manufacturers use to prevent from stealing. They decided to cut costs by not doing that, so they're able to steal your vehicle. Instead of doing a recall, what they did was that they provided you with like a thing to cover your
it's like the steering wheel thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you'll cover it, but I think you still have to pay for it. You still have to pay for that.
What?
Yeah, they don't just give it to you, I believe. If I remember what the article...
But that's what a recall is for.
No, but there's no recall. They don't want to do a recall because they don't want to replace all the parts. So Kia is just selling you this anti-theft system, which is basically...
But that doesn't make any sense.
A lot of people don't agree with it, but yeah, you can definitely steal. I think Donut Media had actually proven they actually did it because it was a big thing. You definitely can steal Kias.
But is that push to start or the ones with keys?
Keys. I'm not sure. I'd have to look that one up, but I don't remember which one. I don't think it's the push to start. I think it's the keys. So there's certain models, they have fixed that problem, but there is no actual recall to correcting past vehicles.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, that's, if you check out anything, just look up Kia Boys. And you'll laugh, just the stuff that they stole and driven around and some of the crazy things that have happened. But that being said, going away from the Kia Boys, if you do live in southwest Minnesota, central east and south central South Dakota, you should be expecting a winter storm until Tuesday at 6 p.m. It's looking like 8 to 15 inches of snow.
Hot damn.
And 40-mile-an-hour winds. I don't know about you, but the Midwest has just been all over.
So much snow.
I mean, the Christmas week you had
pounded,
cold, unreal weather.
Right.
And then this winter storm that's coming now.
Like -40, -50, like in the Midwest. It's just crazy. I mean... I enjoy the snow because we have been slowly and surely figuring out that the Midwest doesn't totally suck.
Yes.
And
I mean, yeah, it's not mountains, but there's definitely things around it.
You can get by, and I think that's just where this summer we were busy and we didn't really try to find the things, but now with our Indy pass, it opens us up to go to other places. And we went up to Powderhorn and Snowriver in the Upper Peninsula this last week, and it was really fun.
It was probably, in the landscape is very diverse. The Powderhorn had such a huge
It was such
area.
a big resort. You're talking like 9 lifts, and these lifts like are pretty darn far apart. And we expected going into it like packed. Even when we went to Pomerelle like last year, it was pretty busy. You might maybe had to wait like a minute, and that we're talking that's busy at Pomerelle. But these ones we expected to be super busy, and they were just so quiet. It was so nice. The quality of snow, I would say, like, you have to go into it not expecting it to be West snow. Like, you can't just think it's going to be this amazing powder. It's hard, but by the end of the day, when we were at Powderhorn, it was, like, broken up to where it was nice. Or you could see some powder. And then there was a dusting that night before we went to Snowriver. So then it was even better at that one. But that one was so funny because you drove up.
And you started from the top.
Started from the top of the mountain, the hill, and then you would go down and ride back up instead of being at the bottom and riding up. But I think it just made more sense for them.
Yeah, and that, I mean, I'll be posting some stuff on Instagram and TikTok and on YouTube, just so you can see the videos of what the resorts look like, what we brought when we were up there. Morgan and I are very frugal when it comes to traveling, so we packed all our food for the weekend, so we didn't have to go out to eat.
And we're thinking about doing a little series on that of
Yep.
just like how we pack, what we pack. Definitely we were like really good on food for like our meals, but heavy on snacks. But I would rather have that versus not having enough food.
And yeah,
So.
if you know me, I rather bring my own food because if I'm disappointed in myself, then I'm disappointed in what I make.
Right, you can't blame it on someone else. You're like, I have to get better.
Exactly, but no, that was what we came, and that brings up the point of, you know, we came into moving back out the Midwest and, you know, kind of our, you know, mind over matter situation, having already negative thoughts.
Right, very closed-minded to like, well, now we can't do this, now we can't do that, and I think that's kind of how we were this past summer. Very closed-minded and very like, we hate it here when we've been here for 2 months.
Yeah, exactly, but that brings it up, you know, since it's, you know, New Year's resolutions, everybody just
New you, new
wait,
new year, new Christian.
Yeah, no, I don't know about that.
You see that haircut?
Yeah,
New Christian.
But so that just brings it up. So New Year's resolutions, 38.5% of U.S. adults set a New Year's resolution. So, you know, that's a pretty solid amount of people at New Year's start a new resolution.
And how long do these last?
That's a good question. So 43% of all people fail before February.
Fail before February.
Yeah. 1 out of 4 quit within the first week. So within the first week, you just already give out.
When it really takes 21 days, it's a proven thing to form a habit.
Exactly. And then 9%, which gives us hope, actually keep their resolutions. Okay, so I think, you know, to kind of break down this topic, just because it's, you know, there's different viewpoints. We did a poll out on Instagram, and I think on Snapchat, just kind of get a feedback on what people believe in. I did have people that were, there's no such thing as New Year's resolution. You set a goal and you always are working through your goal no matter the time of day. And then there's other people that, you know, it's just kind of, they follow the trend and it's, oh, you know, it's a new year. I might as well start. But it's...
So what do you do?
What do I do?
Yeah.
I guess on New Year's, I just kind of refreshing what my goals were from the year before and reflect. I'm always reflecting and see where I'm at. But New Year's, you know, always gives me a chance to look back on where I'm at and where I'm going forward. So for this year, just because we're starting a year and I've just always done setting a new goal and kind of going towards that. So my goal is to get back up to 415 per squat, and then...
And that's how many plates? 4 plates?
4 plates. 4 plates. 405 actually. 405, not 415. 415. That's
I was like, hot damn, dude.
405. And then I did have a few other things, but I'm drawing a blank right now.
We want to, one of our goals is hike the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, exactly. Hike the Grand Canyon is a big thing. Just because I want to be able to say I did it. And, you know, just...
And I mean, we didn't get to do a big hike last year.
Because we were in the transitions of moving and kind of everything. So, you know, definitely hike the Grand Canyon. And then personally, as a, you know, YouTube thing, following, at least try to get 1,000 subscribers, right? That's a big goal just because getting subscribers is very difficult.
Right.
But yeah, definitely, you know, shoot a little bit bigger. If we don't get it, we don't get it, but it's something to at least set a goal. And that's kind of what I'm looking
towards, and yeah.
So what are your goals, Morgan? I know you don't really you don't really believe
I'm not
in New Year's situation, but
yeah, I mean, I was talking to you and I was like, I just let life take me wherever I want to go, and that's not really fully true, but kind of true. Like one of my goals, since we have been squatting every day since October now.
Yep.
Would be to be able to squat 3 plates. I don't even know how much that is.
315.
315.
If you can do 315, you'll probably shut up Shane.
So that's one of my goals. Another one of my goals, I told you, is to get a dog. That's been a goal for like the last 7
and she's finally breaking down on me. The only thing that's hesitant is just that we need a place, that would allow them to get it, because we're not looking at little Chihuahuas. I want a Bernese Mountain Dog, and Morgan wants
I want a German
like 4 different
Shorthair
dogs.
Pointer or a Vizsla, but they're both like super, all of them need space to run, and they need to be able to just go and do whatever they want. And then, so another one of my goals is with me trying to get into photography is to be able to shoot 4 more couples or families, whatever it is, in the next year. So those are kind of like my 3 main goals, along with hiking the Grand Canyon.
And speaking of photography thing, that's definitely kind of pushing towards it. Definitely getting, on my side, getting some drone business, right? Even if it's with couples or businesses, but if you're definitely looking for someone, reach out. We're definitely out there learning, but we're definitely flexible and willing to work with you guys. So
yeah, for sure.
But that brings up, Morgan and I both looked up, mind over matter, and we both took different approaches, and not approaches, but we both found different things. So I kind of found information on, techniques.
And what were the techniques that you found again?
So there's actually 11 that I found, 11 proven techniques. So meditate, visualize, set an intention, talk to yourself, change your habits, remove temptation, practice self-affirmation, forgive, make your bed, read books, and move around. So like, I can now justify me talking to myself all the time. Yeah, exactly. So it's,
and not look crazy.
So some of these make sense, right? Like meditate. So that one I found really interesting. So if you meditate, you step back, breathe in, relax. Basically, the articles I was reading, it makes you focus, right? In the sense of, if you're in a bad state of mind, you get to, get back and relax, and then kind of, center yourself to a good position. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of good. Visualize it. I've always believed that. That. If you visualize it, you see it, more than likely you're going to go and grab your goal, set your goal, and accomplish what you need to do. Set an intention. It makes perfect sense. If you don't set a reason of why you're doing it, then why are you doing it, right? Like, let's say I want to hit 405. The reason I want to do it is because back in college I was able to do it, and it just means that my strength is coming back. That my form. Right. So it's not just doing it just because I want to do it, and no one want to put 405 on their back for fun.
No.
No. Change your habits, and that makes perfect sense. If you have bad habits that are leading you to fail your goals, your intention.
Right, but that also brings it back to, like, it takes a long time to form a habit. So, like, you can't just say, oh, I failed one day and I'm just, like, going to totally give it up. Like, it's something that like, everyone makes mistakes in everything that they do, so you can't just be like, oh, okay, whatever, and throw your hands up just because you made one mistake in life.
Yeah, and you've said it, it takes 21 good days to make a habit. You're not just going to be able, the best one's quitting smoking. I've seen a lot of people struggle quitting smoking. It's hard because it's addictive, but you got to keep trying until you accomplish the goal. I mean, it's a very large goal, but you can't just, one day.
It's about baby steps. Exactly. You can't just, like, dive head first into this huge thing. Like, make sure to break it up and make it attainable, not these huge goals.
And then number 6, remove temptations. If you're trying to reduce the amount of alcohol consumed, if you drink a lot, right, and you're trying to get into a healthier set of mind, kind of
reduce the amount of alcohol you have in your house.
Yeah, and that, or if your friends are, not that your friends are all bad influence, but letting them know that, hey, this is what I'm trying to do, and then holding yourself to it, right? If you want to say that you want to drink once a week, then when they call you to go out and about, you have to be able to say no. Practice self-affirmation. Affirmation, I cannot speak. But, you got to be able to talk to yourself and be proud of how far you've gone.
And you can't be, like, too hard on yourself. You can't always be, like, so negative. Like, if you have this big goal of, say, you want to lose 20 pounds this year, okay, maybe this week you want to lose 0.5 pounds. Like, and if you hit that goal, great. And maybe, like, next week you lose a pound, and then the week after that you don't lose any, but you're still on the right track. Like, you're averaging a half a pound a week.
And that's just like squatting every day, right? Like, we get under the rack, and the day before we're able to push this weight, and today we're just not able to move as much.
Right.
So, I mean, you have to be able to reflect. So, I mean, that's definitely, that's a good trait to practice. Just that, it's not always going to be a great week. Sometimes you're just going to have to be able to tell yourself, you did all right, continue on.
And you have to be able to reflect on the past and say, wow, this is how far I came. Like when we started squatting, and I don't want to always bring it back to that, but like front squat, I couldn't do 45s. Like I would fail at 45, and now I'm at, I don't even know what I'm at. Not much farther, but like you have to just look back and say, wow, I have actually made progress.
And then this one I think is just really hard, forgiving yourself, right? So you have to be able to, you're going to mess up, right? There's no way you're not perfect. You might deviate from your plan a little bit, but being able to, forgive yourself for making a mistake and then going on. I think a lot of people struggle doing that, right? They just want to keep reflecting negative moments, and if you keep reflecting negative moments, you're never going to go past that.
Right.
So make your bed. This one is really interesting. So there's a lot of information on this. So if you have a hard time getting up in the morning, or if you're just not a morning person, or if you just don't have motivation in the morning, making your bed is the first step. And there's a lot of people that say, I make my bed so I know something's already done, that I've already accomplished something. Even as minuscule as that is, you start on the right foot.
Right.
So I don't do that just because.
But we also don't sleep with like a comforter.
I also just get up and squat every day, so I get up and that's the first thing I do. So, but yeah, no, that's if you're struggling, just getting something going, start by doing that. Just getting up, and first thing you do in the morning is make your bed.
Yeah.
And read books. This sounds terrible at. I think I've read 2 books in the last 3 years.
I don't need to be better. I'll go to Barnes and Noble and buy books, and then I am out of the reading habit. I really need to get into it.
No, and I mean, it's just a good thing. It's good to keep your mind working.
Right.
Always
even if
process.
It's 10 pages a day.
It's definitely. So I know that should be on my list because I'm terrible at reading. But the last one is move, right? This is if you're active, if you're doing something, if you're going out on a walk, just being able to move your body, keeps it healthy and keeps you in a pleasant, situation where you want to keep going and keep working.
Because you're focusing on that, and it's not necessarily focusing, if you sit at home and do nothing all day, every day, you're just going to fall into oh, I'm worthless, and fall into your negative thoughts versus getting up and moving and doing things that you enjoy, getting your head off of those maybe more negative things that have been happening and put your energy and your thoughts towards something that are positive.
Exactly. So that's kind of how I looked at my research and kind of how I would approach, setting my goals. And I do follow a majority of these techniques, but Morgan did approach it a completely different. And I'll let her talk about that.
Yeah, so when I was doing my research, I don't even know what I Googled, but I Googled something and it was an article that was talking about mental toughness almost, and how you have to, and it also got into, and I don't want to quote specifics, but it was talking about how your mental health and how your thoughts really drive you as a person, and how that helps you get over your mind over matter. So say a big event came up and you made a mistake, or you had a big thing at work and you made a mistake and that took a toll on you. You need to be able to take it in, be self-aware, process the emotions to be able to move on. Versus, and that will help you build your mind up, mind toughness of being able to adapt to change almost, and going into things with positive intent. Because if you say, my thumb hurts today, I can't type, versus my thumb hurts today, but I'm going to figure out how to type on my keyboard. that's a different approach. You're saying, okay, this hurts, but I'm going to figure out a way how to do it or like overcome it versus my thumb hurts and I can't do anything. That just stagnates you. Like you just can't move forward. It's harder to take that step forward. So if you are able to build your mind toughness and just like get in a place of like you are in true, like you have really truly healthy mental state, like a truly healthy mental state, you'll be able to say tackle your New Year's resolutions in a easier, different way because you do have that going for you. You are healthy, your mind's healthy, it's active, it's really wanting to succeed versus being stuck and stagnated into this place of, well, I can never be better.
And that kind of, there's a quote, I think it's, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So that's kind of the situation. If you think you can do it, you say it out there, you talk to people about it, you set a goal and, you discuss it, you have that mindset that you're going to accomplish it.
Yeah.
Now, if you say from the day one, the first minute that you set a goal,
I can't do that.
You're not going to do it just because you already put the barrier in front of you.
And I think even like this, like I kind of got into it this year was like, oh, this terrain's too steep, and like I can't do this, it's too steep. But you really have to say like, no, you can do this. I need to trust my ability because and like don't do stupid things like outside of your ability, but like if you have the skill set and the ability to do it and it, like, okay, I trust my ability, like I can do this. I've been on like steep terrain, like I'm just freaking myself out because I've never been to this place. Like, trust your ability, and if you want to be able to do it, increase your ability to do it. Don't go gung-ho on something that you can't do and get yourself hurt, right? Or get yourself in trouble. But, like, it's just telling yourself, like, I trust my ability, like, I can do this, and being able to push those negative thoughts in the back of your head and the positive thoughts.
Yeah. And that's, the best example of when we started running during the summer because we were trying to stay active. We set a goal of running 10 miles, right? We set up months down the road that we were going to run 10 miles up in Fargo.
Right.
So we slowly built up that mileage, right? But if you wanted me to run 10 miles today, like that's not happening. I'm not trained. I'm not ready for it.
No.
But you have to be able to set a path and follow the steps. Some days we could barely run 2 miles without dying or something hurting, and then to the point where we could run 7 to 8 miles without a problem. You got to build that step, and like you said, you have to judge your ability and trust yourself. But we can't just wake up one day and say, hey, today's the day I'm going to go and run a marathon. Like that's just not, like you have to understand there's physical limitations. But, that being said is...
just continue to build your like mind strength through your goals, whether it's reading, that's a big one, whether it's podcasts that you like to listen to, educational ones, but just continue to build your mind so you can, and really focus on making sure you have good mental health, because if you don't have good mental health, it's hard to move forward. It really is. And in that article it said like we usually focus mental health with like, oh, you have issues, which is, it's not that way. It's really just like you need to have truly good mental health to like be a good functioning human.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And to finish it off is if you guys did set out New Year's resolution goals, follow some of the techniques, look into it a little more. But
let us know what your goals are.
Yeah, but don't make it something that's just unrealistic, like making $4 billion in 1 year. Like unless you already have the foundation for that, right. Set your goal to
be attainable.
Exactly, or you're just going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
But that's I guess that's basically it for today's podcast. But the only thing, I think the last thing I wanted to say was we did sell a shirt. So we do have a customer down. And we're looking at, I think they're $20, and we're looking at between $30 and $35 for sweatshirts. So we are, slowly, progressively doing that. So definitely reach out if you're interested in a shirt. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok.
Like, subscribe to YouTube. You
Yeah.
can't really subscribe to the other ones. Just follow.
Yeah, just follow. So, definitely thank you for taking the time to listen, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah.